Turning now to the race for the White House, and new CBS News polling shows the race is close in 3 key swing states. Former President Donald Trump narrowly leads in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania among likely voters, and President Biden is just a couple of points ahead in Michigan, all within a margin of error, though. Campaign reporter Aaron Navarro is joining us now from Grand Rapids, Michigan, with more on all of this. So, Aaron, let's dig into some of these polling numbers. We know that the campaigns are trying to figure out exactly what their messaging is. It's evolved somewhat. Give me a sense of just how voters are feeling about what they're hearing from the campaigns.
Good morning, Anne-Marie. Throughout this general election period, you've seen President Biden talk about a second Trump term as a threat to freedoms, especially when it comes to abortion. His campaign has talked a lot about that. And also democracy, which interestingly, in our CBS News poll, democracy was about the third or fourth most important issue, way ahead of the issue of abortion, which the Biden campaign has talked a lot about. For former President Trump, he often argues that the country is, quote, in decline since he left the White House on issues like immigration and the economy, which is a top issue for voters in these battleground states. And the result is a margin of error difference in all 3 battleground states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, between the 2 men.
You know what? Let's talk about that. Inflation is always the #1 issue. What does the polling say that voters think, which party they think would be the best at handling that?
47% of voters in our CBS News poll in Pennsylvania believe that a second Trump term in the White House would make them financially better off, while on the inverse, 48% say that Biden makes them financially worse off. And just generally, people have a sour mood about the economy. They gave each of their states' economies pretty low ratings, around that 40% mark, and showed a sort of nostalgia for former President Trump's handling of the economy. Over 60% believe that his handling of the economy was, quote, good. But that could be a sort of nostalgia. If you look at some of our August 2020 polling, they also were rating the economy at a low level, in part because of the impact of COVID-19, but they definitely believe that this is an issue that Trump can excel at. One bright spot for the Biden campaign is 51% of voters believe that Trump, his policies favor the wealthy. You've seen President Biden make this argument of Mar-a-Lago versus Scranton, trying to appeal to those more middle-class voters, and it's at least working a little bit with some of these voters in battleground states.
So, non-polling news, while we have you here, we understand that Donald Trump met with his former challenger, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, over the weekend. What was that about?
This was a burying of the hatchet. Ever since DeSantis dropped out in January, he has not had much contact with former President Trump, but has indicated he does want to help in fundraising, maybe in campaigning down the line. And this was the first meeting yesterday down in South Florida between the 2 men, arranged by a longtime mega donor of former President Trump. The 2 talked about fundraising, and DeSantis and his allies seem to indicate he will be involved in at least helping his once GOP rival down this general election stretch.
All right, Aaron, thank you.